Not long ago, the third chapter of the King's Quest reboot, pointedly titled Once Upon a Climb, hit the figurative shelves of Steam. Fans like myself who've been eagerly awaiting the next release amidst scarce promotion by its developers, The Odd Gentleman, immediately dispensed our hard-earned IRL coins in exchange for what is perhaps the most story-driven episode of the King's Quest reimagining to date. The new installment is riddled with the kind of improvised magic we expect from a world where Daventry is allowed to exist, and the narrative gave its audience a deeper look at Graham, his queen, and shiny new unexplored characters. However, despite its endearing and heavily comical nature, Once Upon a Climb is definitely the laziest episode yet in terms of actual gameplay, as the whole chapter felt more like a visual novel than a real adventure game. Let's start with the storyline. Our beloved protagonist has now graduated from his formerly weedy physique into a super charming and muscular hunk. Rescuing Daventry's townspeople from the underground labyrinth of Chapter 2 Rebel Without a Cause must have done wonders for his depressed state, because Once Upon a Time opens with an extremely handsome and stoically happy, in the prime of his life, Graham. However, upon realizing he has no real friends, resorting to constructing a dinner guest out of excess food, a purple rug, and a folded napkin, Graham's magic mirror, possibly fearing for its owner's sanity, immediately projects his next big adventure: to find his partner in life. In order to do this, our king must travel far and away from Daventry to rescue his future queen from an enchanted tower. Plot twist though, when Graham finally reaches the fortress, he finds not only one, but two eligible princesses. To make matters worse, the young king is now trapped in the tower himself, dedicating the remainder of the episode to devising an escape plan while simultaneously wooing his fellow hostages, desperate to uncover which princess is his true love. Once Upon a Climb offers many different locations, most of them within the beautiful forest that surrounds the fortress, but some recurring locations such as Daventry's town square and the king's throne room can be found. Much like the first chapter, entitled A Night to Remember, the scenery is vibrantly colored and shimmering with magic, exactly what one craves from a whimsical fantasy story. And yet, despite the attempted scope of Once Upon a Climb, the episode fails to feel as open as its predecessors, with cutscenes dominating much of the gameplay outside of the crumbling spire and puzzles that were so easy they towed the line of being ridiculous. Its developers spent obvious hours maturing the narrative and characters of Once Upon a Climb through its many vivacious cutscenes, but they seem to have thrown its staple supply of brain teasers to the wolves. To be honest, it felt like a children's game as I whizzed through every puzzle with a disappointing level of ease, devoting only a few minutes to even the toughest dilemmas. Sometimes the King's Quest team was too comatose to even insert a puzzle, and this resulted in awkward QuickTime events that held no discernible value, such as twirling Graham over and over for a painstakingly long period of time. Really, what's the point? At least the tedious lute strumming in Fable had an incentive. In the previous chapters, the breadth of playable environment was large, creating enough space for challenging riddles due to the extent of exploration required. Though Once Upon a Climb leads the player through a variety of areas, it's with the firm grip of an apprehensive mother guiding her child through a crowded street. Outside of the fortress confines, only specific scenes are designated for play, and these areas often feel like a gift for the player to chew on between a slew of cutscenes. A few of these cinematic breaks do serve a purpose, as their objective is to provide a great deal of foreshadowing, like the true identity of Manny and also the jealousy of Gwendolyn's cousin Gart. But since the majority of Once Upon a Climb takes place within the tower, which equates to two very small locations, the whole thing feels incredibly claustrophobic. As with the previous King's Quest chapters, I enjoy the dynamic characters, playful humor, and slapdash magic, but the absence of creativity in its gameplay left much to be desired from this third installment. Despite its lack of ingenuity, Once Upon a Climb was still enjoyable, as it allows the player to kick back and experience a full-fledged fairy tale with minimal sweat and tears. It's certainly a poor selection for fans of difficult and/or frequent puzzle solving, squandering only a few hours of your time in its entirety, but for casual fantasy gamers with some time to kill, the episode does make for a pleasant cinematic experience. I'm hoping the fourth chapter will be a healthy balance between the two game components, offering the charming wit and personality of King's Quest and its characters, in conjunction with satisfying and challenging new puzzles to solve. For the full review, head over to thenerdstash.com. And as usual, thanks for watching.